So here's a question for you, my friends. Where is the most dangerous place in professional wrestling? You're probably thinking of the Hell in the Cell, or maybe you're thinking of the Elimination Chamber, or maybe you're thinking about that old blue steel cage that every single wrestler said was horrible to work in. Well, no, it's none of these. Because as we know deep down, if you are a sports entertainer and you are trying to stay safe, the one place you must stay away from is the dangerous and terrifying NXT parking lot. That's right. I mean, Wendy Chu has been attacked here, Nikita Lyons suffered the same fate as did Santos Escobar, and we had a whole story when it came to Aleister Black. He didn't know what had gone down. I mean, we even had Samoa Joe telling William Regal, why don't you have more security guards in that parking lot? Because it's a terrible place. When we had that mega episode of NXT, Carmella Hayes was like, yo, John Cena, I know you're coming down there, but again, don't go where the cars are, come find me, and I shall ensure your safe passage into the building. So it's become pretty much a running joke at this point, and NXT and WWE do reference it all the time, but if we are going to trace the origins all the way back to where this did start, we do have to go to 2015. So strap yourself in, and let's go. And this was the May episode of the show, or actually it was NXT TakeOver Unstoppable, and we had a great match in store, because we were going to find out who the brand new #1 contender for the NXT title was, and it was Finn Balor taking on Tyler Breeze, taking on Hideo Itami, and who the hell didn't want to see that? I mean, it was the former Kenta. So people were pretty excited about this for obvious reasons, and then just as the pay-per-view premium live event, no wait, it wasn't a premium live then, just when the pay-per-view did start, who did we see laid out in the parking lot? It was Hideo Itami, dun dun dun. This was really played off as a big angle as well, especially because when we did get footage of this thing, do you know who was suspiciously close to this? It was Kevin Owens, so everybody got pretty pumped about that because they're like, wait a minute, when he comes back, are we going to do him versus Kevin Owens? That's a feud I'd like to see. And I agree with you, but I tell you, don't get your hopes up because it never happened. Because yes, here in 2024, all of this was dropped to the wayside, so screw you. And if we do go into the reality of the situation, Hideo Itami had really injured his shoulder and he was going to be out for a whole year. And some people say this injury was so bad that the former Kenta was never the same again, and they're still saying that now when he does wrestle in New Japan. I still think he's pretty good, but what I know, I couldn't even keep my own head. To be fair, when he did return after 12 months to face Shawn Maluta in the Cruiserweight Classic, you could actually see that one arm was smaller than the other, because that's how bad this wound was. And sure, that was a terrifying thing to see, but at least there was a glimmer of hope, because it's like, oh my gosh, now we can tell this story. And everyone strapped themselves in, preparing for a ride. Well, I tell you, if you're still sat in that car, you have gone absolutely nowhere. And what was even worse about this is that when Itami was starting to work and have matches again, Corey Graves on commentary even said, hey, man, I just want to talk about Kevin Owens here. I know that he was around at the time of this attack, but KO would never do anything like that. So you search your feelings in your tum-tum and you were like, yes, we are going to do this program. But once again, it was just a massive lie and a massive ruse. There was even other more suspects which would have made this a great whodunit. I mean, take somebody like Finn Balor. He was involved on that night with that match with Tyler Breeze. He beat him, he became the #1 contender, and he actually went on to become the champion, so he could have gone, it was me. I knew I had to do what I wanted to do to get ahead, so I took my opportunity and I murked him. I mean, you could have even made it Samoa Joe who did debut on that night, because isn't that the most Samoa Joe thing to do? He turns up at NXT, he looks at the roster and says, man, I need to beat somebody up, which is when he did find Itami, and he just whacked him in the head. It would also made what he said to William Regal later on even funnier, because he's the guy that started all of this. Also, let's not pretend that two indie darlings such as Samoa Joe and Hideo Itami wouldn't have popped the NXT crowd. That audience would have totally loved it. They would have been there for it. Instead, do you know what WWE chose? Absolutely nobody. That's right. Because like a lot of these unsolved mysteries, it was just dropped cold. And do you know who that made look like an absolute goober? It was Itami. Because when he did have a microphone in his hand, you were like, well, why aren't you talking about this? Why don't you care? Somebody took 12 months of your career away, and you don't seem to be bothered at all. I mean, at the very least, surely you'd be mad at management. It'd be like me getting beaten up and going to the police, and the cops going, we don't care about this, and if you don't leave this precinct straight away, you're going to get arrested. Be like, damn it, it's happened again. Now, in terms of real life, once again, Kenta was actually really mad about this, because by the time he did leave the company, went on social media, all he did was go, man, I did not enjoy my time there, mostly because of stupid things like this. He must have kept up with the program as well, because when other people would get attacked in the parking lot, he would post like lol emojis, so let's not pretend that he did forget he was not a goldfish. Now ultimately, Kenta's overall run in WWE wasn't all that great because he did have to tone down his innovative offense, which is kind of ironic today, because if he was in Triple H's WWE on the main roster, I mean, look how everybody is working now, he would have been told, do all your crazy kicks and be a little bit more violent, And actually, if he had joined in 2024, he would have been way more successful. I do understand this and why it would piss you off, because that's like getting a promotion at work and doing all the things that you did to get there. When your boss turns around and be like, well, I don't like any of this, you'd be like, well, that's 2 + 2 = potato. I'm just taking these skills and I'm trying to paste it onto a brand new role. What the flub do you want me to do? I mean, even today, Kenta will tell anybody that listens how crap this all was. And let's not forget, his arm still isn't 100%. I mean, we talked about this earlier. It's why when people do watch his current day work, they always compare him to the old Kenta, which is totally unfair. He's not the old Kenta. Life kicked his ass. It kicks everyone's ass. And yes, sure, WWE has done this plenty of times before. It's why this series exists to begin with. But if you are a performer put in this situation and you think it's holding you back, of course you're going to feel like a negative Nancy because you want to do the best job possible. It's actually those in charge who are holding you back. And if you're a crowd member, an audience member, or a fan too, it's a little bit like they're laughing in our face. Because we all sat there and we got excited, and again, we're almost 10 years removed from that, and I still have no idea who attacked Atami in the damn NXT parking lot. Now, admittedly, there are worse things, but if you are sat here right now going, oh my gosh, maybe Kenta could come back to WWE, I would take those thoughts and flush them down the toilet. Once again, just go and check him out on Twitter. I don't think he likes them very much. I mean, that bridge just does sound like it has been burned, especially because he did go back to Japan and kind of made a whole new career for himself. But also, you have to understand, how could he trust management wouldn't do this to him again? He'd probably get attacked in the Raw parking lot by CM Punk, and it would be teased it was CM Punk, and that we were going to have a go-to-sleep battle when he would come back to TV, and CM Punk would go, no, I don't want to do that. Once again, thrown out the window. I can't go through it twice. So really, this is another one for the scrap heap, and you're best to make peace with it, because it's not going to change. The next time you do see someone attacked in that parking lot, you remember Hideo Itami and get prepared, because I bet WWE does forget to follow up on this one more time at least. I don't know why they do that. A soap opera wouldn't do that, but hey, that's what happens when you do go 52 weeks a year. Sometimes things fall through the cracks. But it is another unsolved mystery, and look, if you think there was another suspect that would have been an even better story, let me know in the comments below. And look, there's a video on the screen, which yes, is another unsolved mystery. So if you like closure in your life, I wouldn't click it, but please click it anyway, because it's YouTube, otherwise I'm in trouble. Also, please do like the video, share the video, and subscribe. And as always, I know I keep saying this, but I'm going to keep saying it. Thank you for joining me as I do tour the East Coast of America with The Last Match musical. That's why I'm in some strange hotel, but the content never stops. And if you have come down and bought a ticket and said very nice words for me, trust me, you've made my day and you put a smile on my face, and I'll remember that forever. I am home very soon though, so regular content will be back to normal, but I shall give you a salute. And as always, I'll see you on the next one.